Good, good. Okay. Can you hear my voice and see my screen clearly? Okay, cool. All right, everybody, welcome to the session. It is Wednesday, December 7th, 2022, and we are wrapping it up here pretty quick. All right, we are sitting on quarter four. Actually, should be -3. Sorry. We got 66 days behind us and 24 days left to New Year's Eve. And that's pretty much a wrap, man. And we know it's going to be over a lot sooner. All right, so here we are. Let's go through this, map this out. Let's talk about what our plans look like. Here, we're sitting December 7th. This will be my last session next week, and that'll wrap it for the year. We're done. That's it. That's a wrap. So this is 1, 2, and we're in -3 now. Sorry. So quarter four -3, the last stretch of the 12 weeks, and there's really about a week and a half left. You could easily trade into this Friday, maybe not Christmas Eve, maybe here. This is all workable. And this short little break in between here, I think it's 27th to the 30th, and then New Year's Eve. So depending on what you're doing, I mean, you could always do homework and work charts. And that's going to do it. Okay, so looking forward, I want to talk about how to look forward because I want you guys to start making plans. It's going to be around here quick. You know, once you hit the holidays, I don't know, next Monday, the 20th, 21st, 19th, something like that, you're going to be busy with family. You're not going to be thinking about this stuff. And then maybe you'll have a little lull in between. I guess it all depends on where you're at in life, man. If you got small kids, it's a wonderful time for them, man. And soak it all in because I can't believe my kids are getting older and Christmas is great, but it's not the same, man. We used to like literally play with them on the floor with their toys for days. And now it's like they can't get away from us fast enough. I'm sure you guys know how it is if you got teenagers or whatever. But anyway, nice to see you guys. Thanks for saying hey. I didn't take a lot of time. Hey, Carmine, how you doing? Giuseppe, nice. Mohammed, what's up, brother? Dakota, what's going on? How you guys doing? All right. So what is next year going to look like? When I say next year, it's not next year. It's 2.5, 3 weeks away, man. You got to start thinking about some stuff to do, right? So here's kind of like a pop quiz. I want you guys to do it for me. All right, here's your pop quiz, and I'm going to go back. Send me your calendar for the first quarter, man, for next year, 2023. Don't think about it. Don't overthink it. Don't be like, oh, I'm embarrassed in it. Just do it. Just do it. I don't care if you do it today, right after class, tomorrow, or maybe over the break. Take a chance and send it out to me. All right. All right, real quick. Someone's saying they can't hear me. Just want to double check. Am I loud and clear? Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, so, and I want you to buy a planner. That's your pop quiz. All right. So here's the deal. Go through this thing. Just print out this first quarter right here. Don't give a shit. Or print out one that has all the squares in it. Just write on it. Just mark something up. All right. We know that holiday. Just, I'm going to quick sample. I know you guys are sick of this stuff. All right. My kids got their birthdays. We usually burn the whole week. Celebrate them together. And by the way, they're on the first and the second, a couple years apart. We didn't plan it that way. Just, I don't know, whatever. It worked out. It's crazy. But their birthday's a day apart, 2 years in a day. It's pretty cool. Anyway, all right. So just mark something up. If you know you're going to be somewhere, if you're taking your kids for spring break this week, blackout this week, do your counts, right? You're going to start back probably, I don't know. I'm probably going to start back on the 11th, to be honest. This will be my first week back in the office. All right. So that's week 1 for me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Week 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I'm not going to talk about Tom Hanks either, who is also
9, 10, 11. I got 11 weeks to work with. I got to burn a week with my family, and I'm going to lose a couple days here and there. So I got about a 10-week cycle coming up. So I'm going to make my adjustments according to 10 weeks. Right? I'm going to lose a couple holiday days that I know are typically slow. If the U.S. markets are closed, it's typically slow in the overnight. You get some chop. You don't get those good pulls. So you got to take that into consideration, right? You got to do something for Valentine's Day. I am a anti-Valentine's guy. I don't need to sell for someone to tell me commercially how to treat my family or my wife. I do my shit on a different day. So I'll probably go out in here somewhere, melting pot or something, get it off my plate. And when I say it, I don't mean it like it's a chore. I love it. Been doing it for years, but I don't need someone to tell me how I'm supposed to treat my wife. Take care of that shit on my own. All right. Just send me something, man, and buy a planner. This is the planner I use. Look, I'm older. I wear readers. I buy the See It Bigger one. That's the version. I got to get out in front of that. What am I going to do, man? I've been staring at screens for almost half my life now. Maybe more than half my life now I think about it. All right, so look, this is the version. I'm not use paper. Most of you guys, younger guys, are like, Steve, you write that shit on paper. I'm using mobile. Okay, find a good planner that you can write in the days and start doing something. Just start marking something up. Get an idea of what you want to do, right? I have four stuff I build off of, 4 categories. I'll talk about it for a second, but quote, you do not decide your future. You decide your habits, what you do every single day. You start marking in a planner every single day and start putting things on paper. It starts making you have some realizations. Maybe, no offense to anybody, maybe you'll realize how much time you actually waste screwing around with TV or playing on your phone. Go back and look at your phone log files, man. It tells you how long you've been on. Both Android and Apple do it. It tells you how long you spent on, and it tells you, like, it embarrasses you. Just like this week, you spent 4 hours more than you did last week. That's important shit, man. If you're supposed to be marking charts and you're logging more hours on your phone screwing around, that's problematic, man, for your future. All right, we're basing everything on the 12-week year. You new guys that are here tonight, welcome, by the way, and you need this book. All right, buy the audio version. I don't want you to take time reading a book. You have too much things you're supposed to be doing. All right, don't read the book, do the audio book. All right. So we need to start figuring out what you're going to do going into next year and how you're going to handle the rest of your time. We talked about this, right? I told you last week that most people, me included, you need something bigger, right? You can't be like, oh, my long-term vision. Okay, yeah, you need long-term vision is great, but you got to have something going first. I don't believe in this shit. You need 12-week goals, and you need a tactical plan to get that going. All right, so let's set some minor goals for 12 weeks. That's something you get your head around. This long-term shit, fly private, go to an island, man, that's pie in the sky bullshit until you got something in motion. Then you'll start to see the vision and it will become clearer for you. I don't believe in this stuff. Maybe it's the way I was brought up or whatever, but I'm telling you, you have to have something that starts working for you. Then you can start letting your mind wander a little bit. So basically you got to, put your nose to the grindstone and get working, right? You got to develop some type of plan. And that's what I want to talk about a little bit tonight, and then we'll look at some charts. All right, your 12-week goals. What can you do in 90 days? You do something, it's not even 90 times because the market's only open Monday through Friday, right? Monday through Thursday night, really. So what's a realistic goal for you? What are you thinking right now? Okay, let's say you're going to set a 12-week goal. You're going to qualify for a $100,000 account. Okay, what kind of tactics will you use? I want to go through these categories with you real quick. I want you to send this shit to me. I want you to mark something down and send it to me. Don't be embarrassed. I'm not gonna put it on this screen without your permission. But I want you to have something in your mind that you could be thinking about over the holidays of what you're going to do. And I want you to start getting your head around the idea. That's how shit usually works, right? It's the thoughts, the concepts in your mind. Then you start putting it on paper and then you start executing it. That's how things are born and developed. Right? You go back, you start putting some rules down, you start cleaning it up, and you start coming up with some ideas. All right, so what's your goals for 12 weeks? What's your tactics? How are we going to do that? Okay. You're going to try to qualify for a $100,000 account, $200,000 account. I don't know how it works. $500,000 account, whatever the number is that you can afford. If you have 5 or 10K to trade with, you need to take some of that money and pay for a qualifier. Right? The way I understand it, there's a demo that you could start over and over again. Pass the demo. You should be working on that over the holidays. Past the demo, holidays are not ideal conditions. So if you qualify over the holiday, you should have no problem qualifying when the first of the year starts back. Right? What's the tactic? What's a good tactic? One pair, GBP USD, Euro. I don't give a shit what pair it is, but don't trade some ridiculous exotic with a high spread. Don't come at me with some Mexican peso cross bullshit with 27 pip spread. I'll shred you. Send me GBP, Euro, Australian, AJ, EJ, GJ, something manageable, something that has good volatility but moves, consistent in its patterns, and is affordable to work with. Right? Okay, what are you going to trade? You know what? I'm going to have one trade, my primary trade, zone flips. Okay, zone flips, what's the best iteration of that? Start thinking about what the best iteration is of that, when and how to take it. Flashcards, spreadsheet calculations. These are the things you got to start doing. Put all this shit down on paper. All right, what's my tactic going to be? My main tactic is going to be a 3R approach, right? We just went over this, why it's so much better. Some guy submitted, it was Steve actually, submitted his stuff. Are you here tonight, brother? Say hey. Anyway, he submitted his stuff. Just by looking at his relative draw on the polls, he was able to move this thing to a 3R approach, tighten up his stop, and hold for his good TP. Right? Another tactic, spreadsheet with scaling within the rules of whatever the confines are that you're going to trade. I don't know how it works. I heard you have a limited amount of scaling. You can't just scale like crazy. There's some limitations on that. You need to know that going in. Okay, so how would you handle that? If you can scale one block at a time and then reset, then you scale one block at a time and reset. But if you're not using money management and a good clean approach, you're cheating yourself. You have to trade or scale when you're trading. You have to scale lots. That's what gives you the leverage. They give you 100 to 1, 200 to 1. Why do you think they do that? They do it in hopes that you're going to lose. But if you flip it on them, you'll win, and you'll win bigger. All right. Execute 10 trades a week, win, lose, or scratch. That's a doable goal. How? How are you going to do it? You're going to trade 5 days a week? That's 2 trades a day on average. Can you do it in 4 days? Can you go Monday to Friday, Friday morning and be done? Or can you go Sunday to Thursday, and if you don't get your execution goals, then you have another day to work with? You have to figure out how that works for you. And it's going to come over time. All right, you're looking at 2 setups a day, the first flip and the continuation flip. Steve, that sounds great on paper. How do I know it's a good plan? You don't, right? You got to build your belief structure by doing some homework. Go back through GBP, and if you don't see 2 trades a day, you're blind. But if you don't see 2 trades a day, then that's not going to work out for you. While you're homeworking it, you take screenshots of the good setups and you build it into a flashcard set. You should be able to see this shit developing blind, right? So what's the first flip in the continuation? I'll look at some charts with you, but you guys know it's the anchor M, right? The first flip off of the apex nadery thing, and then it's the pullback continuation off of the 50 EMA on a 5 or on a 15, and that's it. Trade 1, trade 2. This shit is there every single day. It was there last night. I got pictures of it. We'll talk about it. Anchor, away from peak, pull back, flip, pull. It's in there. But don't take my word for it. Go back and homework it for yourself. You have to see it. Doesn't matter if I could see it every friggin' day and twice on Sunday, even if the market's closed. It's still there. You have to see it. All right, so going through the tactics. How do you measure? Listen, win rate is somewhat important. Okay, 70, 80% manageable, 50, 55% very manageable. That means you win 5 out of 10 trades, 6 out of 10 trades. The only thing that matters in this business is return on your equity and cash on cash return. Nothing else matters. Everything else is bullshit. I said it. That's it. And it's in the form of a percentage. If you have $100,000 that you qualified for and make a 25% return, your cash on cash is 25 grand on 100. Your return on equity, same. But as the money grows, you have to adjust the lot sizes to keep those numbers consistent. If you have 125,000 next week and you return the same 25,000, your actual percentage dropped on your return on equity. If you make a 25% return on equity, you have to adjust the numbers for 125,000 and adjust your lot sizes accordingly. I don't know the rules for these qualifying companies on that. That's the stuff you got to research for yourself so you don't blow up. I could be totally wrong. You might not be allowed to scale. I don't know. But you do your homework before you start doing what I'm telling you, and make sure you can implement it without any interference or interruption in your stuff. Win rate is important somewhat. First of all, you got to be able to see a trade and execute it. Okay, so that's going to give you an edge. Then you refine the edge. How? By taking the first and second iteration of these setups when they're their cleanest. Can you chase it down for a third? Yeah. Remember, you could take impulse 1, impulse 2. Okay, well, within impulse 1 and 2, there's 3, right? There's 3 pushes. Get your first, your second, and your third. Major pullback 50%, then 1, 2, 3 again. These are opportunities for you to take, but the cleanest ones come out of the anchors. Always. Can you execute 2 of these and go 1 for 2 every day? Right? 1 for 2 with a 3R, that's a moneymaker. Every single day and twice on Sunday, even when the market's closed. That's how good you are. All right, you understand? It's doable. All right, planning and reflection. What is reflection? Well, it's a fancy way to say adjust and see how you did. Ask yourself, what could you have done better? All right, what could I have done better this week? There's a lot of, everyone has the same emotional problems, man. It's emotional baggage. Limit orders has helped me a lot with that over the last several years, because I locate the place on the chart I want to go, and I'm not waiting for a candle to paint a certain way. It hits the zone and fills the order. You can break the order into smaller pieces. If you're trading, what would you trade on 100,000? 10 lots? Okay, you can go 3-3-4, spread it out over a 10 pip zone. You got to be careful with that because you don't always get all filled. You get 6 filled and missing 4, leave them hanging, especially if the edge is thin and it doesn't get filled on the top. But that's the kind of stuff you got to homework. You want to fill in the body. And when I say fill in the body, I mean, here's your wick, here's your body, right? Remember, there's a point of control is usually in the body. Okay, so you can go 2, right? 6, that's 10. But you got to be careful. The 6 may or may not get filled. You almost would have like your foot soldier, mid body, top of the body, and try to stay off the wick, right? And that comes from the refinement, right? When you draw the zone around the aggregate, how they played into it, they're going to give you some kind of pattern that you refine off of a box, project that out into the future, and then you go SLs here, sell limit orders, SLOs into the zone. It's stuff you got to work on over the holidays and get your shit together. All right. What's the reflection? Man, if I would use limit orders on these, I'm starting to see it. If I could use limited orders on these, I could see where I would have got filled the same, less stress, and I would have got a better average entry, right? When you go weighted like this, right, and you get filled, you're going to be filled high side because this is a 2, this is a 2, and this is a 6. Counterbalances this is 4 and 6. It's going to average about 2/3 higher on the bar, and that's going to give you a better entry. On aggregate, you're going to have 3 lines on your chart, but on aggregate, you're weighted high side in a sell. Way better entry. But you run the risk of not getting filled. Right? I chased the entry, got in too early. Man, I sure wish I would have waited. Expected too much on Wednesday. I was excited, thought Wednesday was going to be a huge day, and they chopped on me. That's just shit that happens in the business. You have to place importance on every single trading day, but you can't place all the importance on it. Just like an aggregate entry, the business has to be one on aggregate, right? You have a good day Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday doesn't play out the way you thought. Thursday and Friday, you come back and you kill it. And on aggregate, you went 4 out of 5 decent days. And you made some money. All right, maybe you go 1 for 2, 1 for 2. Maybe you lose 2, and you go 2 for 2 on Thursday. Start doing the math, man. Put it all in the spreadsheet. It works out. By using money management, you can get a lesser win rate and come out on top, man. All right, once you got a working model, what's your working model look like? Updated just on the fly. You got to prove this out to yourself over time. That's how you start to build the confidence and can move on to that pie in the sky bullshit on the goal setting. But here's the thing, man. When you become self-aware and your fears are gone, you realize it can be done, you can do it, you can make it happen. That's more powerful than headbanding and 1,000 mantras. But the problem is you might have to do all those things tied together to get over this hump. There's people that go on, I don't know how to explain it. They go on tears, right? They have a great couple of months and all of a sudden something happens. They get blocked. They can't get to the next lot size. They start having problems. That's the kind of stuff the headbanding and the mantras will work you through. And that's some deep seated shit I can't help you with. That's some stuff from childhood, like you don't deserve this, or there's so many different things that be going on in your mind that you got to work through. It's just part of the business. But the way to start, right, one foot in front of the other, a basic working simple plan that you can see clearly, and then start fleshing out the numbers. All this stuff, all these fears, all these things you grew up with, all these anxieties, all these things, I don't deserve this, or I'm not good enough, or I can't do it, I can't see it, I can only see it after the fact. Man, I've heard it all. And this time of year makes me sad because I'm starting to get a surge of emails, I told you last week, of people saying, you're starting to feel the pinch. The year's over, man. It's December. The year's over. I mean, not to be an asshole, but it's late. You're late to the party now, but better late than never. You got to pick up a piece of paper, a pencil, a keyboard, your phone, and start doing something. And you got to tie all the pieces together going into next year so we don't have the same conversation 13 months from now. Well, Steve, here it is January again. A year later, it's going to be 2024, and I swore. You got to harness that energy that you feel right now, and that the whole thing, the 12-week year is based on that surge of energy in the last month trying to make your sales quota, or people trying to sell used cars, or whatever the hell business you're in, right? They start pushing it. Oh man, you only sold 800,000 this year. You're 200,000 short, and there's a big crunch at the dealership, right? That's the kind of feeling you have to transmit or translate to yourself in this business, and you have to be aggressive, but you have to keep that feeling every quarter, and excitement and enthusiasm for the business. And listen, I'm going to be straight. If you don't like the business, it's probably not for you. I'm not trying to run anybody off, but if you're stressed out going to work every day and you've been here a while and you can't get over it, you got to either find a different trade that's comfortable for you, or maybe this line of work isn't for you. I've been at this 23, 24 years, I guess, man. I freaking love the business. I can't talk about it enough. I can't sit in front of screens enough. It's a great business. You have to be enthusiastic and excited about what you do. It has to become your DNA, right? Your DNA. It's got to be part of you. But remember this, courage is backwards. Courage is built backwards. It sucks, but that's how it works, man. You're not sure you can do it, you do it, then you believe you can do it, then you do it. That's how courage is built. And I could tell you thousands of stories about how I built my courage backwards in this business, in the fire department, in speaking to you guys. The first time I ever got in front of an audience and spoke live, some of you remember me from OTA, I was a little aggressive. I threw the book in the garbage, but I was nervous, man. It's hard to get up here and talk about this stuff. But you know what? If you have a true love for something, then it comes out. I was able to put my guard down and let you see how emotional I am about the business. The business has been amazing to me. I enjoy being a firefighter, and it was exciting, but I can't even explain to you the rewards that this business, what it's done for my life. It's just an amazing business. All right, use the spreadsheet as a working blueprint. Fill in the fields every single day. A lot of you are not doing this, man. I ask all the time, using the spreadsheet? No. Why? Is it like against your religion? Use the damn spreadsheet. Fill the fields in every single day when you're done, and it auto-calculates you for what you're supposed to be doing. Don't get caught up in winning ratio. Don't get caught up with your win-lose ratio. It's about making money. Accuracy is going to come to you. Your trades are going to get better as you get comfortable, man. You think the first time I ever jumped out of a window, it was comfortable? No, but believe it or not, you could actually get comfortable being uncomfortable. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Can you get comfortable hanging from a rope with a carabiner on? I don't know, maybe. But you can get more comfortable than the first time you ever did it. The second time you did it, you can get comfortable with that. There's guys that rock climb and stuff, and I've done some of that with my wife and screwed around. And not like real rock climbing, like those fake walls and shit. But I mean, I'm not afraid of it. You know, a lot of people get to the top and you have to kick off the wall and let that friction brake take you down. People stand there for like 20 minutes and can't kick out. If you ever been like to one of those places and just watch people do it, they do it on Royal Caribbean all the time, and my kids are doing it now. And you sit there and you watch people get to the top and ring out, and then they're stuck and they're just sitting there. They don't trust that friction brake. They've never done it. You got to learn how to trust your friction brake, man. You got to learn how to trust your friction brake. I don't know how else to say it. The bottom line is, if you go 66% at the end of the week, but you made $20,000, you just proved out the model. And accuracy is going to come as you prove out. Spreadsheet. I'd like to see you start just these numbers right here. If you qualify for 100 or 200, doesn't matter. Do for a 3R system. We talked about these numbers last week. 1% risk. This way you have some room to work, man. You don't blow your account. And I don't know how you can scale, but do 10 blocks. Right? If you're allowed to do the first 2 blocks and then you got to reset, that's a lot of money, man. This should take you, right? What, 5 trades a week? You should be able to move through this block every 2 weeks, 4 weeks, reset, take your check. 75 grand, whatever they split with you, 80-20, however it works, whatever. This is the thing, got to make sure you can scale to this lot size, but risking 1%, you should be able to, right? And then when you get comfortable, after you move through a couple blocks, you get some money in the bank and you get your shit together, change this to 2% or 1.5, adjust on the fly, have it part of your plan. When you send me your calendar, put that shit in there, when you're going to scale, how you're going to scale. All right? I mentioned to you about a mental shift, about not being afraid. Hold on, I need a drink. You guys know I'm still working through some COVID stuff. I can't believe how long it's hanging around, man. I guess that has something to do with my age. Anyway, I talked about mental shift, right? You have to be afraid of not winning instead of being afraid of losing. And I found some literature to talk about this stuff. I know it sounds weird. It sounds like semantics, but I don't know how to explain it. Maybe from experience, like if you're crazy about somebody and you chase them down and you're not afraid of being shot down anymore because you're afraid of missing the opportunity. Heidi, if you're listening, it's about you. You just got to take a chance, man. You have to put yourself out there, and no matter what happens, just take a stab at it. Sometimes wonderful things happen. And that's the same thing. Most of the time, if you want to ask a girl out, or if nowadays you want to ask a guy out, you just have to go for it. And this is one of those businesses. You just have to go for it. You have to get in there and start pulling the trigger. The numbers might be ugly in the beginning, doesn't matter. That's what demo's for. But you have to switch your mentality of, man, I'm afraid of not being in front of this machine because that money is flowing by me every single day. Versus, oh, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to lose. That you got, I don't know how to explain it. It's a little nuance, but you got to figure it out. And I found that positive action is the only way to fix this, no matter what you're doing. Afraid to go to the gym, afraid of being sore, go to the gym and get sore. And then do it again, and do it again, and do it again. And next thing you know, you'll start to see some muscle. All right, here's some literature I found. It's pretty cool. The one thing that all winners have in common, right? Trying to win has risk of loss. Trading, that couldn't be more profound for this business. But anyway, it goes on to talk about some of the categories. Grab this article, just look it up. I don't even know how I found it. I think I read this a long time ago and remembered and Googled it again, and it came right up. Right? Tweak your fears. Instead of fearing loss, what if you feared missed opportunities the most, right? And that's what happens. By not being there and pulling the trigger, you're missing opportunity. GVP did it last night. Did it the day before. Did it the day before that. Didn't do it on Sunday when they were closed or Saturday, but it does it. It's there. right? Think in terms of risk and reward instead of comfort. That's the biggest thing, is you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's how you got to do it. You got to put yourself out there. You got to ask that chick out, man. You got to try to kiss her. Whatever it is, you got to do it. And I'm just saying chick because I'm a guy and that's my experience. But I'm not trying to offend anyone. You kiss who you want to kiss, man. Let me know how it works out, all right? Send me a letter. I love shit like that. Seek to win. Don't play life to avoid losing. This is a big point, man. Don't play avoid losing. Should be looking for potential wins. A potential win is an M or W formation that retests, and then a continuation that retests. That's it. Get this article, spend some time looking at it, see if it helps you, man. All right, got a homework submission, pretty good trade. I don't know if you're here, brother. I thought I saw you. This is you. I didn't ask you, so I'm not going to say your name, but everybody knows it's you. Hold on. All right, so walk me through this. What do you got? Okay, you got a clean Asian box. Here's your AR levels, right? What are we looking for here? We got, just right off top of your head, moving averages pointing down, right? You got good fanning open, but no gatoring yet. Right? Gatoring is when they turn flat and start to make the jaws in the mouth. Okay, we're still good, right? Got good angle separation. Trend is obviously down. Okay, we get a couple of anchors, M formations, flip here. That's viable. Down. Didn't get a second leg on that. Then you get this breakout right at the appropriate time. End of Asia. Going into the appropriate average. You got a nice vector to the low, pullback, and you get a nice zone off of here, flips. You get a nice paint. Guy got a nice grab, took his money out. All right, drop down to the lower time frame. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a little harder. He got in really good on this, actually, because I might have got in here or here. He got really nice grab, right? Because you're looking for this. This is actually the 1M. You get more pins on the 1M, right? I call that the hook back overlap, where if you imagine a 15-minute candle on this or a 1-minute candle, you get this, right? So what happens is price goes all the way up to the top of the candle, right? Picture in your mind what it does. Makes a full-size candle, goes up, pushes down, goes all the way back up, and pushes down again, right? But on a 15-minute, this is 1 bar. But on a 1-minute, it's 1 bar 15 times. So you get these little pushes, and you get more hits into these high levels. And that's just all what you train your mind on, how you're trading. If you're going to trade 1M, then you need to look at that shit and see how the candle actually pumps into the level, hook back overlap, right? You keep getting the hook back, right? The hook back, and it overlaps the same bar. The hook back overlaps the same bar, and it hits the level and draws the zone. But this is a really, really nice setup. That's why I wanted to point it out, is because it literally, just picture in your mind the order book, just like that, stacked orange, because that's what's there. There is no way GJ is going to stop dead on a dime with the spread and turn off of there unless something's in the book. All right, when you spread it out like that, it looks like a work of art. This is beautiful, man. Look at that. Very nice trade, an easy grab. And why take profit here? Okay, well, if depending on the type of W formation you might get, type 1, type 2, you have no way to know when it's developing, right? So if he pulls up short and turns, then you would be right to take here. Obviously, he could break lower and come back, or he could break even and come back. When I say even, to the same level like you did on the top side. You don't know. So have a fixed limit order and take your money, whatever it is. If it's 15, take it. Can you take 15, 20, 30 times during the week? Okay, 15, 10, that's 150 pips. Can you do that every day? Yes. Can you do it consistently for a week? Absolutely. Stop worrying about making 50 pips and 40 pips. Start learning how to make 20 pips, 25 pips with a 10 pip stop. 2R, then expand, go to 25, 2.5R. Okay, you know what? I notice if I just have a little more patience, it goes to 30, 3R. That's how you build a business. You don't build a business taking 50 pips right from the beginning unless you have some experience. That's the nuance that's missing is, what is it? I guess crawl before you walk. Okay, you got to crawl. How are you going to crawl? Take 15 every single day. Do it for a month. Scale it. Go to 20, go to 25, go to 22, whatever number you feel comfortable. But remember, it comes from homework, and this has a value. This has a value. There's some value in here that you got to learn how to carve out. Right? If this is a 30 pip leg times 3 is 90 pips, right? With pullback, it ends up over 100 pips for the day. Okay, learn what this value is. Don't leave it to chance. Don't be like, oh, I'll take 60. And then you get 25 every time. You're like, I had 25. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. I'm telling you what the hell's wrong with you. You're lazy. You don't want to do the friggin' homework. That's what's wrong with you. This has a value. Go through and measure this value. Tell me the values. Tell me these values. When you know these values, that's how you set your limit orders for getting out. You understand? Let me see. I got some questions popping. Yeah, the question is, do I like the M1 or the M5? Yes, this is not my trade. This is submission. If you're here, speak up. And it's okay to say your name. I don't see the guy now. But anyway, I'm a 5-minute guy. I don't like the 1 minute for this reason. Right? This reason is why I don't like it. Because all this, let's just say, look at the spacing in here. Right? See how this taps? This basically is 2 candles, right? This is a 1 and a 2 on a bigger time frame. So, and that gives you the V. Here, look, this is important. You're basically, the way this turned like that, this would be cut in half. This would be 1 candle that would probably print like this, right? Then you get a couple candles heading towards the bottom, and then you get another vector candle back up the other side, and it prints flat right there. So that's a V pattern on maybe 2 or 3 candles or 4 candles to get the turn bar. Then you refine the entry here just like he did, stretch it out into the future, and then you get a tap and you're gone. So it's not necessary unless you like it and that's what you're used to seeing. Everyone has a different feel for it. I know who this guy is, and he's done the feel. He's done the work. He's done the homework. He's done the practice. You just have to figure out where you're at. And this is GJ. It does print a lot more prints. This is the kind of setup I like. This is me right here all day. You get the 1, 2, right? You get the flip. You get 3 pins into the low, right? You get a 3, 2, 1. It pulls back, it hooks. This is failed to return. Looks like it's going to go long, then they go right into it and they stop dead, right? And you're going, once you get this move back towards the high, you go limit order in the box, refine the entry, use some kind of aggregate based on the pins. I've said it 1,000 times, right? And then depending on the box, on GJ pairs, they're volatile. You want to go limit order in the back third of the box or the back half of the box. That's the entry on this, right? So if you're going to go limit order, you go all in middle of the box, or you go 2 in the front, 2 in the middle, and the balance left 6 on the back side, right? Or you go 25, 25, and then you can't get on this pin area. You won't get filled on a higher size. When you start looking at the order flows inside the candles, especially on the futures contract, thin pickings up there. The only way you're going to get filled is if there's a dark pool and there's stuff that's not showing on the book, you'll get filled. But you don't want to take half a position. You want to try to get your full position on. It just comes with time, man. And when you get real accurate at this, you'll just go all in middle of the box. You'll get used to it. All right, this is good stuff. Okay. Let's look at some charts. We'll wrap it up tonight. I'm not keeping you guys long. I know everybody's busy, freaking out. Christmas is literally, you're down the stretch, man. You're about 14 days away, which means you got to be done in about 12. Got to have that shit under the tree and wrapped. Everybody goes through it, man. All right. This is the book from last night. Mark it up. I'll probably just do like 30 seconds because I got a lot more charts and I don't want to run out of time. Go. All right, long enough. stuff out. Here's your Asian range. There's your anchor, W, shift. Okay, does this close above the last places the book, the sellers were pushing the book down? It does. Right, here's your bleed right here. Here's your orange heavy line. That essentially is your line in the sand, right? Okay, the dealer closes above here, and he closes above here. You get your first leg pullback. You got to remember you're dealing in tighter ticks. So you would basically look for this bar, the high swing, the pullback, and you would base your zone on this. So you would aggregate this out forward. Gives you an area on where the chart should go, right? This is your failure to return. You got this pin right here. Your box is here. You notice there's some striping in there. It thickens up over here. When you look at the actual pins on the bars, you'll be able to draw this clean. I'm just drawing a few in the book so you could see. Okay, so you're looking at this. You're going to go back of the box, right? Let's cut the box in half. Your orders go in this piece of the box on pound crosses. There's your micro W. You're going to have a little bit of bleed, but you can count the ticks on the bleed, right? Your middle of the box, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a pip spread is 7. You had 7 ticks of draw on this trade, and it shot up. When the dealer flips the book higher, he takes out the liquidity levels from all this work. He pulls back aggressively. You get a micro W structure, a shift, retest into VWAP, and then price goes on its way. And you notice you got your counts in there. You start your pushing. All right. This is what it looked like on the 1 hour. Okay, so looking at the 1 hour chart. You remember I told you I like no wicks. How do I do that? I go in here and I take the candle properties and I color it the same as the background or put don't show. It's a little tick mark. I don't have it on MT4. This is NinjaTrader. I don't know if you can customize the candle prints on there. I've never tried. But I like to look at the whole bodies. Why? Because the wicks are rejection zones. The wicks are like fake out parts of the candle. I want to see how the body closes, right? So essentially, this trade is this. All right, Steve, what the hell are you talking about? I'm going to show you. You have your Asian range. You have a stop hunt low, and I want you to notice the profile in the back, right? That right there is a high volume node. This right here is a high volume node. This is neutral space in the book, no orders in there. Nobody's home. Okay? Price goes down. It's kind of hard to see this chart, I'm sorry. Right there, yesterday's low and day open. See those numbers? An AR low. Price goes below yesterday's low, comes back above yesterday's low and retests it and does not go below yesterday's low again. When it fails to get below yesterday's low and sitting on the open, that's a zone right there. That's a little tiny bottom edge zone that you can grab this edge on the open right here and then right to profit. 47 ticks. This open went a little bit higher. You got your 50 right there. Okay, I've been drawing this pattern for a long time. Look, that pattern is cash. That's the sign for some cash right there. That's what that is, right? It's this. Above a zone, zone holds. Above a zone, zone holds. Below a zone, zone holds. An area on the chart that we know there's volume. An area on the chart that we know the dealers manipulate. Blue tracers, Asian numbers, AR numbers, daily open, a combination of 2 or 3 lines coming together, a railroad track type pattern, right? You could have took this and went higher, then you sat through some draw, or you got stopped out and then you were mad. This is the play. Break above, pull back into, higher price. We know this thing took off for like 70 pips, the leg last night. All right. We don't have time to mark it up. I'll just mark it up for you. Here it is in a different time frame. Right. Same thing. See it? Breaks below, comes back above. They run the stops one more time. If you took this You should have survived this. In the futures contract, it's about 6-7 pips. And then it was gone, flipped again. Yes, anybody get that last night? Yes, Mohammed, correct. See it? Don't see it? 5 minute, 15 minute, right? You're looking at this. This would actually help you get a better pull. Notice, look, rejection on the blue line. Rejection. Hits it, comes above. This bar right here is the signal bar. This bar gives you all the information you need for the rest of your life. Okay, you have low level consolidation, failed, right? They hold a low, they shift above, they take out this and this,